everyone, this is Jonah from Right River Rails, and I'd like to welcome you guys back to the workbench here. So in this video I just kind of want to do a quick little update, because I know I've gotten asked quite a bit for layout updates and whatnot, and I don't really have a layout, so this is kind of the best thing I can do here. And I've been having a little bit of trouble finding time to do model railroad videos, so I just figured I would go ahead and get this out and kind of go over a little bit of everything for now. But I guess I can show you guys a couple of the project engines I've been working on. This one right here is M&A GP40 in the G&W colors I've been working on, and it's a Northern Genesis model. Used to be one of the NS GP40-2s. I got it from a friend and he didn't need it anymore, so I was able to easily convert it over to look kind of like that former FEC spec, because it used to be a Florida East Coast locomotive with the non-dynamic brakes and the little weed cutter plow. But as far as paintwork goes, it's pretty well finished, and I've recently put on most of the decals minus the warning labels. I also just finished up doing all the various lighting in the locomotive. I've got all sorts of LEDs in this, from the front and rear headlight and ditch lights, lit up number boards, along with step lights. And now I'm just waiting on the speaker to come in, and then that way I can throw a decoder in it, and then I can continue working on the detailing and whatnot after I get all that hooked back up. And this unit up here is a EJ&E GP38-2. This one's number 703. One of the last remaining Jeeps with the J-Ball round logo on the nose. This one's for a friend of mine, and I'm trying to get that done for him. It mostly just needs some paint matching on the plow. I've got a beacon on the roof I'm working on, and then just basically just got to get weathered up, and then it'll be ready for him. And then regarding some of the engines on my display shelf, I've kind of cycled some power around. I've sold off a little bit of my BNSF power. I'm kind of switching over to trying to focus more on my M&A stuff, because that's what I want to build a layout on in the future. And I'm also kind of getting more into modeling the Kansas City Southern, which I've got 3 units back here in the back. I've got 2 Tier 4s, 5003, and then I just picked up 5015 from a friend of mine. And I've also recently built this snoot nose RCL yard trimmer, and I'll do a more in-depth video on that one in the future. But I'm still holding on to a decent amount of BNSF power. I definitely need my coal engines, as well as just some of the other stuff I've weathered that I obviously can't let go of. The War Bonnet, Executive Max, and then that H2-9 is probably one of my favorite just normal road engines I've weathered, along with the coal Gevo over here. And I definitely want to start expanding my M&A fleet more. Obviously with that GP40 I'm working on right now, that'll boost me up to 5 M&A engines. And then I'm probably going to build another Jeep to go with it, and then kind of start attacking more of the road engines. And this one over here is a little bit of a work in progress. It's getting closer to being finished. It's one of the GMD SD40 styles that M&A had. They had 2 of them, BPR 3330 and then 3332. And this one's not exactly how the other one was. I believe the prototype was actually one of the SD40 styles with the shorter porches. And it took me a little bit to realize that, but I already had the model and I'm happy with how it looks, so I'm just going to kind of stick with it for now. And then if Bowser ever comes out with the G&W SD40 styles, then I'll probably replace it for one of those, but it's a great stand-in for now. And I've just been working on changing the details, and it also needs kind of a revamp on the lighting system, because the lights are pretty dim. And then here we have the 2 MK5000s here, or MK50-3s. I need to do another video on these at some point. They're mostly finished, except the 5002 has some issues with the front truck. I think the gears were cracked from the factory when they sent me the trucks, so I'll have to do a little investigating into that. But 5003 over here has been running great. I've also got loads and loads of cars I need to weather. I need to get back into that because I've kind of started slacking on weathering the past few months, so I've got a lot of clean cars running around that we can't have. And these are just a few hoppers, and I've got a bunch still boxed up that I've been using at like the latest Fremo event and taking to the club back and forth. A lot of clean tank cars that also need to be weathered. And my Fremo module doesn't look too much different than the last time I showed it off. Right now it's just kind of set back up. I haven't hooked it back to the layout or anything yet since I just brought it back from the Deschler show not too long ago. And it's got all the buildings off of it and whatnot right now. And another train I'm working on is this KCS grain train. I picked up a bunch of the new KCS bell hoppers from Spring Creek. They still had a bunch of the scale trains ones from the latest run. So I picked up 12 of those, along with a farmland car I got from a friend. So that'll be a pretty neat train, especially when it gets bigger. I'm hoping they do another run of the KCS gray hoppers, because that'll be nice to mix in. And then obviously I'll need some more bell ones. I'd like to get it at least around 30 cars or so. That's usually a decent unit train length. Anything bigger than that gets a little bit hard to manage, but it still looks cool. Also got a few engines that still need to be weathered, like UP 1982 up here. This Union Pacific GEVO needs to be weathered, along with the City Rail and this H1-9. So at some point I'll get to those. And I'm not too sure what I'm going to be doing with this Athearn Genesis Ace up here. I got it from a train show a few months ago, except it's one of the kind of the older style with that vent behind the inverter box is wrong for how the prototype looks right now. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, weather it up, or if I'm just going to try to sell it off and get a different one to replace it. And these two down here, I'm also working on for a friend of mine. I need to get those weathered out so I can get them back to him. This one's a Scale Trains SD40-2. It's BNSF 8070. I think the only one to get the wagon wheel on the nose, so it's kind of a unique one. And we've also got one for his freelance railroad, the Nebraska Northeastern. This one's a Rapido-7, I think. So I'll try to get those done at some point. And then got a couple A&M engines back here. This one's the SC70 Ace I made probably about a year ago, I think. And then it's also one of the Bowser Alcos. And I also wanted to thank you guys a lot for 6,000 subscribers. I noticed the channel recently hit that mark, so that's pretty exciting. And I definitely couldn't have gotten here without the help of all of you watching and subscribing. So I thank you guys for that. But that's about all I wanted to share with in this update. I'm going to be having a lot more videos coming out over the next few weeks, including a few cool rail fanning ones. I recently spent a lot of time on the KCS right around the merger, so I'm going to be working on a countdown to merger video. Not quite too sure when that'll come out, but I'm hoping to get it out within the next month or so. But anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.